Live at 6, this is News Center 2.
And I'm Bruce Hamilton. Topping the news at this hour, 2 Marion County SWAT team members lie wounded in the hospital tonight.
They're recovering from gunshot wounds they suffered in the line of duty this afternoon.
The deputies were shot when a man holed up in his house in Ocala began exchanging gunfire with police. News Center 2 Cynthia Glicken is live on the scene. Cynthia, the gunman has been arrested.
Bruce, 40-year-old Tommy Lee Woodson is in Monroe Regional Medical Center right now being treated for minor cuts and bruises. At about 10:30 this morning, a Marion County judge issued emergency admissions papers on Woodson. That was at the request of his family. They wanted him taken in for mental observation because they said that he was violent not only to himself, but to possibly others as well. The Sheriff's Department realizes that Woodson had a mental history background, so they were prepared. They brought a SWAT team as backup, but before they could even get to the front door, shots were fired and 2 SWAT team members were hit. Officials tell us it all took place within a matter of minutes, and that as soon as the shots were fired, they started calling in every available unit. Patrick Ryan was down the road a few hundred feet and heard the whole thing.
Must have been about 20 shots, and they were shooting at. The guy was shooting at them, and they were shooting back. Then 2 of them got hit, and they all came back here, and they said that we got 2 guys down. They couldn't get to them.
Deputies had to go onto the property in this tank to get the SWAT members out without being hit themselves. One SWAT member was helicoptered out to Alachua General in Gainesville. The other was taken to the local hospital in Ocala. It was Woodson's father who asked for his son to be taken away.
Did you know the sheriffs were coming today?
You figured it was.
He was ready for him?
Mm-hmm.
Did he have a lot of guns with him?
Yeah, he stole my guns out the house.
What kind?
That's what the argument started about. I missed the guns and asked him about them, and then he went to draw them on and told me to shoot me if I didn't get out the way, and took the butt of one and knocked me down.
But it was still another 3 hours before the deputies were able to get Woodson out. As a matter of fact, it took a couple rounds of tear gas to get him out. You can see behind me that the bullet holes in the glass where he was holed up, and in the building right in back of me also. In Ocala, I'm Cynthia Glicken with a News Star 2 live report.
Thank you, Cynthia. Orlando police think it's highly unlikely that the Cocoa Beach child napper is the same man who kidnapped Regina Armstrong in Orlando. There have been 2 attempted child kidnappings in Cocoa Beach in the last 3 weeks, and police do think that those 2 cases are related. News Center 2's John McIntyre standing by live at the house where yesterday's attempted kidnapping took place. John?
Andrew, yes, as you mentioned, this is the home of Lloyd Kelly. You may be able to see the bedroom window through which the kidnapper went last night. Actually, it was about 3 or 4 yesterday morning. Now, they say he got in the bedroom window and actually went out the front door with an 8-year-old child in his hands, amazingly, while 6 other people slept in the house. A lot of people surprised that the guy tried a kidnapping when this neighborhood is surrounded on 3 sides by water. As you can see, the canals here, which would make it very tough for a quick getaway. In any event, Orlando police and Cocoa Beach police held a joint news conference today to say why they don't think this man is the same man who kidnapped Regina May Armstrong. This is the composite drawing of the man police think kidnapped 6-year-old Regina May Armstrong in Orlando. It looks a lot like this drawing by Cocoa Beach police of a man who tried and failed to kidnap a little girl in Cocoa Beach 3 weeks ago. And both pictures look like the drawing of the man who tried to kidnap an 8-year-old boy on Monday. But after a meeting at the Cocoa Beach Police Department today, officers from both cities agreed it's unlikely the Armstrong case is related to the Cocoa Beach incidents.
Here you're looking at a situation where he went into a house, and over there he just walked into an apartment complex, and it was in the daylight. Over here you're looking at he's doing it in the early morning hours in a residential area.
Over there was traffic, there were people about. Here in our area, no one moving about.
Police are convinced the same man is involved in the 2 Cocoa Beach attempted kidnappings. The city is buzzing about the man who tried and failed to kidnap 2 children. These youngsters were walking through the neighborhood where Monday's attempt took place. What are you going to do if some stranger walks up to you and asks you to come with him?
I know. Yeah, run away. Run away. Scream for help and run away.
Cocoa Beach police say they could find no fingerprints at a preliminary check. They're waiting for lab results on items the kidnapper might have touched in the Kelly home. A lot of people certainly buzzing about the attempted kidnapping in this story. Now, police say that many residents are missing a point, and that is, don't just worry about your door being locked with a good deadbolt. Worry about your windows, and if you want a free security check, you can call the Cocoa Beach Police Department. They'll come out to your house and give you one. As a matter of fact, most any police department in Central Florida can help you out with this. That's it from Cocoa Beach. This is John McIntyre reporting live with the News Center 2 Live Eye.
Thank you, John. Daytona Beach police thought they might have found the Armstrong kidnapper early this afternoon. A man resembling a police composite of suspects stopped at a church seeking medical help for someone who was traveling with him. Church employees got suspicious and called the police. After some checking, police identified the man as 27-year-old Robert Adams of Volusia County. He was ruled out as the kidnapper but was arrested on a warrant for grand theft. What would make a kidnapper take a child from his home, leave him in a nearby lot, and ask him to wait there until the kidnapper returned? Today on News Center 2 Midday, psychologist Barbara Mara told me it could be that this man wants to be caught.
I found that very bizarre myself. To leave an 8-year-old unattended like that, I would assume especially an 8-year-old would try to get away a lot faster than a younger child. So one of the hypotheses is this a statement that this person does want to be caught.
Mara has been working with the Orlando Police Department on the Regina Armstrong kidnapping case.
Cancer radiation. How does it work and how effective is it? Dr. Red Duke with the answer. Next on News Center 2 at 6.
If you didn't care about the picture, you wouldn't take the shot. At least that's how Eckerd Drugs sees it. Orange juice. Other brands add water to make their juice from concentrate. We don't. No water, no concentrate. Just pure Florida squeeze juice. That's why it's called Pure Premium. It costs us more to bring you such fresh squeeze taste, but we think it's worth it. Tropicana Pure Premium.
We're Beatrice. Over the years, we've helped a lot of people from all walks of life. If you need money, see the First Bankers. We finance people.
Do you think you're paying too much for electricity? Some residents on the west side of Orlando are complaining their monthly bills are just way out of proportion. News Center 2's Ed McDonough reports the Orlando Utility Commission will fund an independent study to see if something is in fact out of kilter.
About 3 dozen OUC customers jammed the commission's small meeting room to complain about their electric bills. Most are black, most live in West Orlando. Many are like Mary Alice Drew, a 68-year-old widow who lives in the Callahan area.
I cannot work, and I live off of my Social Security, and to pay $111 a month, how do you think I eat?
One by one, these people stood to complain, showing their electric bills, some of which came to nearly $300. These people were organized by the Florida Consumer Action Network, a statewide group which represents consumers in disagreements with utility companies. The network wants OUC to develop a more equitable energy conservation and rate structure.
To work with us on supplying the data that we need now, as indicated in that letter, or future data that may come up, work with us so that we can together come up with a proposal to present to the board at a future board meeting.
Orlando Mayor Bill Frederick was sympathetic to the customers. He proposed an independent survey to determine if West Orlando residents are paying more for electricity than they should.
But there may be some other folks that really are doing what we've heard, turning off the heaters and not using air conditioners, and at the very minimum that you could do, and they can't make it, then that may very well suggest a different policy.
The commission went along with the mayor, unanimously approving the independent rate study. In the meantime, the Florida Consumer Action Network will be working with OUC in an effort to develop a more equitable rate structure. A rate structure that the Florida Consumer Network says should include a 2 cents per kilowatt hour reduction for the first 1,000 kilowatts of electricity. Ed McDonough, News Center 2, Orlando.
One of the most common ways to treat certain types of cancer is through radiation. Tonight, Dr. Red Duke continues his look at radiation by showing us how this cancer therapy works.
I'm sure you've heard of someone, or maybe even known someone, who had a type of cancer that was going to be treated with radiotherapy. What's going to happen to that person is for the next 4 or 5 weeks, they're going to go to some kind of a center for 4 or 5 times a week to have their malignancy treated with a radiation. Radiation, administered in the hands of an expert, has the ability to stop cancer cells from multiplying and to kill cancer cells which are already present if there's not too many of them. for a normal cell to grow, it must divide from 1 into 2. It must go through a very complicated and undisturbed process. If this process is disturbed during the division, 2 imperfect or damaged cells will result therefrom. Radiation is used deliberately to create such a disturbance.
Now, the difference between cancer cells and normal human cells is cancer cells do not have the ability to repair. So, if we damage a cancer cell when it is going through this process, it will die.
There's no question that radiation is a very powerful form of treatment, but cancer is a very powerful disease as well. Did you know that 90% of people with stage 1 Hodgkin's disease can be cured with X-ray alone? And there's a very high percent of people with cancer of the uterus and cervix that are cured with X-ray alone. Like everything else, we have to seek a balance. In this instance, appreciation versus respect. I'm Dr. Red Duke.
And Dr. Duke will wrap up his series on radiation this Thursday night.
And Dave Marsh will have Central Florida's weather, which is the same old, next on News Center 2 at 6.
Your choice. Now you can buy or lease your favorite new 1985 Buick for a lot less than you might think. Skyhawk, Buick's answer to the imports. Buy or lease for just $35.05 a week. Century, Buick's most popular selling car. Buy or lease for only $45.78 a week. Or Regal, traditional Buick styling and value. Buy or lease for just $47.58 a week. The choice is yours. Buy or lease your next car at Sonny King's Orange Buick in Orlando.
Freezer burn strikes again. Freezer burn. To help put out freezer burn, more and more people are turning to Baggy's Extra Protection Freezer Bags. Baggy's fights freezer burn with the strength of plastic and nylon. So with Baggy's Extra Protection Freezer Bags, there's a lot better chance of putting out the freezer burn in your freezer. Play it safe. Get Baggy's Freezer Bags and help put out freezer burn.
Whatever kind of car you drive, you want all the performance it has to offer. Fill it with Shell SU2000 Super Unleaded. SU2000 is a patented high-octane performance gasoline designed for smooth, quiet power. And it fights critical engine deposits that can cause knock. Turn your car into an SU2000 performer. Get Shell SU2000 Super Unleaded Gasoline.
Sharing comes naturally to brothers. It's part of their family bond. Today, that bond can save a life, and Shands Hospital is proving it. Besides heart, bone, cornea, and bone marrow transplants, we perform kidney transplants for adults and children. A family member can donate a healthy kidney, which we transplant to the patient. And that means kids like these can return to what's really important, enjoying life. Shands Hospital, we're with you for life.
Well, really no surprises in Central Florida's weather or the forecast as far as I'm concerned, Dave Marsh.
Okay, well, let's videotape this thing, and I'll see you in about 2 months. Actually, we've had a little bit of rain over Florida today, but you're right, Bruce. Same old story. The only thing we can ask today is how hot is it, and has there been any rain over Florida today? Well, I can answer all of those questions. First of all, how hot was it today? Not how hot did you feel, but how hot was it according to the temperatures. In Ocala, 95. Same for Mount Dora. Orlando, 93. Daytona Beach and Deltona, 91. Down in Melbourne, 93. Perhaps the only cool spot at 89, if you can call that cool. National Weather Service radar on the long scan tonight is indicating some light rain areas around Lake Okeechobee. Perhaps even some of those smaller ones might even be a thunderstorm. Now, farther out you go on the radar, the storms have to be very, very big in order to pick them out. So these in extreme South Florida probably are thunderstorms. Now, the latest satellite picture gives us a good view of all that. We can see mainly the southern half of the state under the cloud cover, and they had been drifting toward the east, as a matter of fact. But central and northern part of the state, certainly clear skies and very little cloud
cloudiness around the rest of the state of Florida, so we're not expecting anything to come our way. However, during the next couple of days, we might see a slight breakdown in this high-pressure system we've had, which means that we might experience a slight increase in our afternoon thunderstorms. Let's hope so. Well, right now, it's still very hot. Daytona Beach, 88, 90 in Orlando. Ocala still at 95, 93 in Gainesville and Melbourne with 88 degrees. And the humidities are also rather low. Right now in Orlando, 48%, 68% in Melbourne, and Daytona Beach with 56%. The pressure's remaining just about where they've been now for the last week or so, and mainly light easterly winds along the coast. You'll see that, but in Orlando, a westerly wind at 8 miles per hour. Also, one other event here. We do have to, you notice right behind my head, you'll see the extreme southern portion of Florida right here. Here's Cuba, but we're watching this cloud mass, which is drifting toward the west. The hurricane center is. Now, it is the hurricane center. We have to watch these things, but don't jump to conclusions. There's nothing developing right now, but we will watch this closely as there are some thunderstorms in that area. Well, while we're in the break, think about this in terms of thunderstorms and population increase. Is there any relation? There certainly is, and I'll tell you what it is right after this.
You can tell a great deal about a person by what he eats. I prefer Barasini ice cream. Why Barasini? Note the creamy texture, the generous quantity of nuts. And as for Barasini's taste, there's just one word to describe that.
Us in, Mr. President. We're leaving the party of the past and joining the Republicans for progress and promise and jobs and opportunity, so our kids will have a future. Count us in, Mr. President. Count us in, Republicans.
Okay, Super X Food and Drugs. You say there's a difference? Then show me.
Super X Food and Drugs for big, juicy Georgia peaches. Only 39 cents a pound.
Well, welcome back. Well, some climatologists do say that the population increase in some areas, if you have a 1 million urban population increase, there's a possibility that you would have a 10% increase in the number of thunderstorm days, because the more people you have, the more energy is created, the more heat, and that produces thunderstorms. Not far-fetched at all. Thunderstorms around the country today, no surprise, a slight increase up around the Great Lakes. Matter of fact, a couple of problem areas, a tornado watch around portions of Milwaukee, Illinois, Indiana, and also Michigan until 11 o'clock Central Time tonight, and a thunderstorm watch for extreme southern portion of New York, most of Pennsylvania, and a smaller section of New Jersey until 10 o'clock Eastern Time tonight. Temperatures at summertime, it's hot over all the country. A little bit of a cool pocket up here in the north central areas, otherwise hot from east to west. No changes are expected. Well, let's take a look at the rest of the forecast. For Florida, it'll be sunny and hot, scattered afternoon thunderstorms, lows in the low 70s, highs in the low 90s, except for the hot spots. You'll be up around 96, 97. The winds will be variable at around 10 miles per hour. And again, after tomorrow, we can expect a slight increase in our afternoon thunderstorms. Let's hope so. We need a bigger break from these temperatures. Andrea?
Thank you, Dave. The battle of the sexes rages on a softball field in Orlando. Bobby Sports is next.
Come on out to Central Florida's big volume Ford dealer, Cesar Prado's Golden Triangle Ford in Eustis. Ford's favorite full-size F-150 pickup. Drive one for $125.24 per month. Drive a luxurious 85 Thunderbird for $172.19 per month. Tough, hard-working Bronco 2. Drive a new 85 for $181.24 per month. Drive America's #1 selling Ford Escort for as low as $105.66 per month. Only at Cesar Prado's Golden Triangle Ford in Eustis. No other dealer would dare.
Owning 2 cars can become a tug of war for your money. Double the expenses, double the insurance costs. It can really strain your budget. Now Prudential has the double discount. It can help set you free. The double discount lets you save 2 ways. You'll save for owning 2 cars and get a second savings for taking certain coverages and good driving. Find out how a double discount can help you get ahead. Get a Pru review. Prudential's double discount.
Now, the most amazing advance in roach killers in 300 million years. New Lure and Kill from DCOM, the first roach spray that lures roaches to the kill. New Lure and Kill contains a unique sex lure, the mating scent roaches can't resist. They're lured to it and die. Use Lure and Kill before going to bed. Overnight, the roaches in your kitchen advance to it and... Tests show with this new sex lure, twice as many roaches were killed. New Lure and Kill from DCOM, the roach-killing advance.
Wake up in Love's new comfy baby pants.
Love's introduces baby pants. The diaper
diaper with a comfort waistband. Love's new comfort waistband snuggles around your baby's waist to stop leaking better than plain old diapers, even overnight. New Love's, the diaper with a comfort waistband.
I'm happy all night long. Oh, no, you can't go wrong. He loves new comfy baby pants.
The USFL named its Player of the Year today.
Not a renegade, huh?
No renegade.
Hey, Reggie didn't get it, although Orlando votes would have given it to him. Herschel Walker is the USFL's Player of the Year. I think he deserves that honor. The Generals running back set a pro football record for rushing this season, 2,411 yards, best in pro football. He surpassed the record set by Eric Dickerson of the Rams last season in the NFL. Walker also set USFL records for touchdowns, 21 touchdowns rushing. So Herschel Walker is the USFL's most valuable player. All right, big softball game tonight in Orlando. It's the Orlando Rebels against the Orlando Codgers. The Rebels, as you might know, are a professional women's team. The Codgers, a 50 and up group for men. And standing by live now is Bill Schaefer. Bill, I've got to go with the Rebels.
I don't know, Bob. All the tension in the world is building up here. We're just about a half hour away from game time. We got the Codgers and the Rebels going at it. This is a pretty important game for the Rebels. This is Marge Ricker, the manager, and Lori Young, one of the pitchers, here with us. Why do you guys need this game?
Well, the main thing we need it for is it's a big benefit game.
You guys need the money, don't you? Because you're going to go overseas and play in an international tournament, right?
We hope so. In about 9 days, if we can get another $6,000 raised, that's how short we are.
So it's going to cost people like $20, $25 to get in here tonight, huh?
Well, we'll let them in free, but it'll cost them $25 to get out.
It's free to get in, though. You're right. You're serious. It's absolutely free to get in, and you're just going to ask for donations, right?
Right.
Now, these guys, if we look over here, these guys are playing the Codgers team, which is 50 years and older, managed by John Culley and Dick Marlowe, the Sentinel. What's going on? You guys playing a women's team here?
Yes, this may be the last bastion for men's rights. Tonight we've got to make a good showing against this bunch of young ladies.
Well, I fully expect y'all to have an easy time of it.
Well, no, we haven't scored against them yet. We played them three times. We haven't scored. Tonight's tonight.
What do you think, Dick?
We've got a perfect record going against women. So far, we're 0 forever, I think. And we hope to improve on that tonight, but we don't have great hopes of doing it.
You're going to need a little support, aren't you?
We're going to need all the support
I know.
We got some wives here.
Yeah?
They may come out and join us if things get too bad.
Well, I hate to say it, I'm going to have to be cheering against you. But this game is in order to get your airfare on out there, right? You got to find a way to get to this.
That's right. We needed $15,000, and we got all but 6 of it raised, and it's only 9 days till we leave, so I'm starting to panic.
Our own Orlando Rebels may have to ride a bicycle to the Netherlands for this tournament. Maybe we can come out and have a good time. We'll let you know what happens in this doubleheader starting at 7 tonight at 11. Bobby.
All right, Bill, thank you very much. Well, the highlights of that action tonight for you at 11, as Bill says. That's interesting stuff. All right, Rebels and the Codgers. All right, you know, trap shooting is a very popular sport in Central Florida, and the Orange County Trap and Skeet Club is one of the finest facilities in the Southeast. And tonight, Ron Kendrick has the first of a 2-part series on trap shooting.
The sport is called trap shooting and is different from skeet, which many people are more familiar with. Trap is shot from 5 different positions as opposed to 8 in skeet, and the clay targets come from a single trap house rather than 2 different houses. There are 3 games that can be played in trap: singles, handicap, and doubles, which is shooting 2 targets on 1 pull. Warren Williams of Port Orange began competitive trap shooting in 1981. His most prized possession to date is the trophy he won recently as the champion from the 24-yard distance at the Georgia State Shoot. Williams says trap shooting is highly competitive.
They do have ATA-registered trap shoots at different weekends, 1-day, 2-day shoots, where you compete for trophies and prizes, and you compete for honors.
If it's so competitive, why must Williams drive to Orlando to practice?
There's no facility on the east coast of Florida between Jacksonville and West Palm Beach. There's just no facility to shoot registered or competition shoots. This is the nearest club to where we live in Port Orange.
Trap shooting is a family sport. In fact, Williams' wife, Linda, is also a champion shooter. In a report tomorrow, the two will talk about how you can get started in trap shooting and the cost that's involved. Ron Kendrick, News Center 2 Sports, Orange County.
Thank you, Ron. One baseball game today to mention. Cubs over the Padres 4-0 in the 8th inning.
Okay, highlights tonight at 11. Thanks, Bobby. We'll be right back with the right stuff on high kicking dancers.
Armstrong for Coast. Notice all the new home construction? Why don't you contact the builder and make plans for your dream house? Coast is a leader in construction lending. See us for the financing to get you started immediately. Make your dream home a reality. Coast is the one for the best in construction loans.
Coast is the one where you bank with confidence.
What car can you buy for under $10,000? A Plymouth Colt for $53.72. A Plymouth Horizon for $6,048. A Plymouth Turismo for $68.79. A Plymouth Reliant for $69.24. And a hot-selling Plymouth Voyager for... Wait a minute, we said under $10,000. There, that's better. You know what's really better? Buying one at your Florida Chrysler Plymouth dealer today.
Central Florida actually sells for less. We have the best service, the biggest selection, and we have the lowest prices. Shop around, compare. You'll save at Ashley's. We guarantee it. This RCA 8-hour VCR is just $2.99. RCA's best portable VCR with remote control, just $5.99. 25-inch RCA color TV with electronic touch tuning, just $3.99. Sale price is good at all Ashley locations in Orange City, DeLand, Longwood, and our new Port Orange store on US 1, just 1 mile south of the Port Orange Bridge.
There's so much for your eyes at the optical department at Sears. Shatter-resistant lenses, Permalite scratch-resistant lenses, or True Vision no-line bifocals, tinted lenses, and every kind of contact lens. Come in and look us over.
There's more for your eyes
At the optical department.
at Sears.
Daily wear soft contact lenses, just $39, and extended wear soft contacts, only $69 at the optical department at Sears.
A slice of the Big Apples here in Central Florida tonight. The Radio City Music Hall Rockettes are dancing at Epcot Center. And keeping all the performers stepping to the right beat requires a person with what else? The right stuff.
They're probably the most photographed legs in the country, tapping, dancing, and kicking to the music. But wait, let's stop everything and find out who's in charge of these long-legged beauties. Since 1973, Violet Holmes, a former Rockette, has been making sure all the dancers have shoes, stockings, and costumes. And there's more. Violet subs as a drill instructor, getting the women, all 20 of them, to rehearsal on time. By the way, the rest of the Rockettes are back in New York City. She shows them when and where to hit it.
I like being in the front looking at them because I remember when I did it, I know what was expected of me, and you can watch with the third eye, like, oh, now I know. I have been there myself, so I know their shortcomings and so forth.
The dancers do 3 evening shows 5 nights a week at Epcot Center. Most of the performers have been hoofing it at Radio City Music Hall for 5 to 10 years.
It's a very regimented job, and people don't realize the work that goes into it. There's an awful lot of rehearsal time to get these gals to perform correctly.
Take a peek at America's best-looking, moving, and kicking group of legs. And one can bet Violet Holmes will be around, making sure nobody steps out of line. Lynn Wright, News Center 2, Epcot Center.
Looks like fun. By the way, that softball game between the Codgers and the Rebels is at Varner Stadium near the Expo Center. That's it for News Center 2 at 6. NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw's next. Good night.
See you at 11.